Hello internet friends, welcome to the second episode of Kicki Yums. I'm Kicki, your host, and this show is named after me, the cook. So in the first episode I showed you how to make scallion pancakes, and actually this episode is kind of bedded into the first episode, so my dough is resting in the back. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you how I do stir-fried tofu the Chinese way. It's called 家常 tofu. 家常, which means like home, normal, like everyday, normal home tofu. It's a bit spicy, it's salty, and it's just, you know, perfect for making tofu, because tofu, I gotta be honest with you, doesn't taste like a lot. So we're gonna add some spices to make it nice. What you will need for this recipe is first of all a block of tofu, and you really have to get the Asian tofu. Don't go to like supermarkets around you and get that like white people tofu. It's so hard. When people show me that tofu, I understand why they tell me that tofu is gross, because it is gross. It tastes like wood. It literally tastes like wood. Don't get that. Get that good Asian shit. Then you need vegetables of your choice. Today I have a selection of sugar snap peas, onions, carrots, and bell pepper. Then for seasoning, you will need soy sauce, you will need garlic, you will need a tiny bit of brown sugar, and a very important ingredient, you need doubanjiang, which is chili bean sauce, and it gives that, you know, little spicy kick. To prep the tofu, we have to pre-fry it, and for that, I'm gonna cut it into tiny rectangular shapes. You can choose any shape you want for your tofu, but I think for this recipe, rectangular works the best. You can also cut it thinner if you like your tofu a bit more crispy. It's a personal choice, and we don't judge in this show. So I have prepared a pair of cooking chopsticks, because as I said, we Chinese people use chopsticks for everything. Everything. Okay, I'm gonna put the tofu in. It's already starting to sizzle. Ooh. You see, some of these tofu pieces, they decided, I don't care about you. I want to be a triangle. And I let them be, because as I said, we don't judge. You can be any shape you want. While tofu pieces are frying in pretty much high heat or medium heat, depending on what your stove is, I'm gonna start prepping the vegetables. So first of all, I'm gonna wash everything except onions. They don't need to be washed, and I'm gonna be back in 2 seconds. I'm gonna start with the bell pepper. My method of cutting bell pepper is removing the top, removing the bottom, and then cut it open like this, removing the insides. So you remove all of the seeds in one go, and you have this part, you know, you can just break it off like this. And also you don't waste anything, you know. I see a lot of people like they remove the whole top, and this goes into the trash, and it's so wasteful. This is also edible. They also want to be eaten. Now we have the carrots. So a lot of people peel their carrots. I usually don't, especially when they're fresh. And I think they look pretty clean already. Ooh, don't roll away, stay here. So for the carrots today, I think I'm gonna cut them in half first, and then go for thin-ish slices like that. Next up, the sugar peas. These are actually pretty easy. I'm just gonna remove the head and tail. I don't know the specific term for it. Just the ends, you know? I think that's the right way to say it. Bam! Bam! tofu. Now has come the part I was fearing the most. It's time to cut the onions. And we're gonna cry or not. That is the question. I have one friend who's probably gonna watch this. And I remember when we cooked together, for some reason, I swear he's a monster. He did not cry cutting onions. Like, he was literally holding the onions like, and he was not crying. And how did he do that? I don't understand. Till this day, I think it's magic. And the last thing we have to cut today, Jesus Christ, my eyes are still running from the onions. Ooh, the last thing we're gonna cut today, garlic. And the good part about this recipe is because I know what a pain in the ass it sometimes is to peel garlic. We don't need to cut it super small, you know. The garlic, we're just gonna cut them into little pieces like that. And honestly, it doesn't need to be smaller than that because I don't know about you, but sometimes I like to bite on garlic and it's actually really delicious, and still it gives a lot of flavor into the dish even if you don't cut it into tiny pieces or squeeze it or make it into garlic. What is the word? In German is matcha.
Paste? What do you mean?
Garlic paste? Is it garlic paste? I heat up a wok with some vegetable oil and I'm gonna start walking things. So first of all, the garlic goes in. Then with the garlic, we're gonna add onions. The order of how to put the vegetables in is really important. So vegetables which need a tiny bit longer to cook, like onions and carrots, they have to go in first. I'm gonna add the bell pepper. I'm gonna add in our tofu. I put it on paper so it soaks up a bit of the oil. Last but not least, add the snap peas. Now it's time to add the seasoning, so we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. It depends on how spicy you want it, but I want it pretty spicy, so I'm gonna add 2 big ass tablespoons. And with soy sauce, usually I don't really measure it, you know, I just go like for like a splash. That looks about right. Okay, once you mix everything, so all the seasoning is spread evenly, it's ready to serve. Wasn't that hard, wasn't it? So in the last episode, I was eating scallion pancakes. It was amazing. Now we're gonna try the tofu dish. It's really good. It's perfectly salty. It's a tiny bit spicy. And the vegetables are still crunchy. Thank you for joining this video today. In case you cook any of this, tag me, #KickiYums. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna enjoy my food now. Ooh. No!